What's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. All right, so we got some movers today. Let me make sure the volume's working here. I think it should be. Yeah, volume's working okay. So we have CTRV today, which CTRV is really moving here. It's gapping up from $5 all the way to 11.75. And an interesting thing, this one was at 10 cents earlier. It looks like it had a reverse split. Um, Looks like it had a 6-to-1 reverse split or so, right? So 6-to-1 reverse split is what this seems. And so yeah, we'll see what happens with this one. Now it's at 11.98, so a huge move here for CTRV. It's up to $12. Crazy move. We'll watch this one for sure. I doubt it's tradable, but we'll still keep an eye on that one. One that is tradable for us, though, that I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on is... Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm sneezing. Whew. Whew. Feel like I need to sneeze again. SFIX. SFIX, which is Stitch Fix, is gapping up really nicely here from 23.50s all the way to 29.70. This one looks pretty good. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this one as well. Nice gap up, a lot of volume. And yeah, we only have 2 days left in the competition, so it's time to go for it here. Excuse me. Sneezing again this morning. We also have AXGT. AXGT gapping up from 680s to 740s. Looked a lot stronger earlier. It got up to 850s, but now it's back down to 740s. Looking a little bit more weak. It's only gapping up about 60 cents at this point. And so we'll see what happens with that. We have NVIDIA. Big red day yesterday. AMD with a big red day. But it is gapping up some, so bounce back a little bit today for AMD. We also have SQ, which is up some after a pretty strong day yesterday. We have CRON, cannabis play, after a red day, gapping up a little bit here. The SPY overall is up, and the SPY ran up huge yesterday. Just a big, bullish day. The last 2 days specifically for the SPY. And I don't know if anybody remember what I said yesterday, but one of the things I said was that I thought the SPY would drop originally at the open, and then maybe rebound later on in the day. And that's exactly what we got yesterday. And, this is the reason I was able to tell that is because this is a very common thing here, especially when the SPY, if you look at, what is this, Tuesday? If you look at Tuesday, you can kind of see that whenever the SPY or the overall market has a really strong day, a lot of times the next day, just off of the emotions from that big bullish day the day before, a lot of times it's going to kind of dip back down the next day at the open and then slowly kind of creep back and rebound and then start breaking highs and start running back up. And that's what happens a lot of the time. You'll see that very, very often with the overall market. And so that's how I was able to predict that. Just a speculation that I've noticed over and over again. But yeah, SPY's up. It's up to 283.40, so it's not looking too rough here. A little bit of a rebound from these red days it's had the last few weeks. We can look at Roku. Roku had a pretty strong day yesterday. We can see what else is on the gap list here. CIEN looking pretty good. I'll watch that one for sure as well because that one's going to be tradable too. HIIQ gapping up some, although low volume. For penny stocks, we have VTVT, which is a little unstable, it honestly seems. It's from 167 to 184 now, but it's kind of back and forth to the 220s, back down to the 180s. So we'll see what happens with that one. We got CDTX gapping up on low volume here. AXGT, I think I went over that one. Looking okay. OBLN, TNP. And so, yeah, a little bit slower day, really. We got Tesla. And so we'll see what happens with Tesla here. I think the big level, if I was going to short Tesla, I kind of talked about this one before. And I should have an article that's coming out about this. I did write an article about my theory on shorting Tesla here. And one of my little theories on Tesla is like, I don't mind shorting Tesla if it gets back up to the 250s, But if it is way down here, I just don't know. I don't know if it's going to continue washing out. I would rather wait for it to jump up to that resistance level and then just maintain that resistance level as my risk. I think that makes a lot more sense. than shorting Tesla down here, but you never really know. I appreciate it, Jeremy. Yeah, man, I just see that happen so much just off of the emotional sentiment of people. A lot of times they'll be just kind of selling their positions early. Okay. You want me to help you? All right, guys. I'm gonna help my wife bring my kids out to the truck, and so I'll be right back. All right, guys. So I am back here. So yeah, what are you watching today? I'm watching SFIX, maybe CTRV. We'll see if it's actually tradable or not. But like I said, I'm not looking that great in the competition here. Does anybody know if the competition ends Friday or does it end Monday? It would be Monday would be 2 weeks. Really, it would be Tuesday, but since Monday wasn't open. Let's see what the leader of the competition is at. Let's see what they're at today. All right, so the leader in the competition is only at 200, is only at 26,000 in profits, and so really, it's still quite possible for anybody to pull in. Let me see what 10th spot. The 10th spot is only up. Wow, the 10th spot is only up $8,000. That's it, and so that's really attainable. Honestly, I mean, anybody could come in and swoop this thing up. Yeah, well, I didn't really expect CTRV to be tradable, mostly because 2 days ago on Monday, or 3 days ago, it was at 10 cents. And so most of the time, 10-cent stocks aren't going to be tradable. And even after it gapped up from what I'm assuming is a reverse split, it still didn't have great volume. And so it's understandable why that one isn't, that one specifically isn't tradable. CLDR with a big drop here. Same thing with Home, HOME. So CLDR, massive drops. Let's go ahead and look up some news releases, shall we? Let's go ahead and look these up. We'll go ahead and start with CTRV. Yeah, so it's a 1 for 70 reverse stock split on Monday, which is what I thought. I originally thought it was 1 for 60, but it was a 1 for 70 stock split. And then today, the news for CTRV. See if I can find it here. Sounds like it's positive data and positive results for testing with their bio drug is what I think it is. Um, they announced findings from a preclinical study where CRV431, a novel cyclophilin inhibitor, significantly decreased the extent of fibrosis in a second animal model of liver fibrosis. Fibrosis, or scarring of the liver, is a hallmark symptom of NASH that results in impaired liver function. Obeticholic acid, OCA, a semi-synthetic bile acid analog drug approved for the treatment primary biliary cholangitis. All right, I'm done with that one, man. I did my best. But yeah, positive data, positive results, basically, is what that is for CTRV. We can also look at CLDR. This one's dropping massively here. All right, so Cloudera, which is CLRD, their CEO announced that he's going to retire by the end of July. And so that's what's making it drop. CLDR, the CEO announced that he is going to retire. We also got, let's see what else we have here. SFIX. SFIX is looking pretty bullish and strong today. All right, so SFIX shares are up after a surprise profit in the third quarter. The company's fiscal third quarter profit surprised the market, while its sales forecast for the next 3 months comfortably beat the consensus. Revenue rose $408.9 million during those 3 months from April 27th, from $316 million a year ago, following a 17% year-on-year jump. So positive results for SFIX, better than expected. And so this one's gapping up a decent amount, a pretty big percentage move here. I mean, it's gapping up from, what is this, about $5 or so? About $6 actually. So a nice move here for SFIX. We'll see what happens with this one. We got Roku here. We got CIEN as well, CIEN, which looks good. I can look this one up as well. What's up, James? What's up, brother? It reported quarter two adjusted diluted net income per common share of 48 cents, which is better than the 23 cents a share from a year ago for CIEN. The result beat the Capital IQ consensus forecast of 41 cents as well. And this one continues to run for CIEN. It's continuing to push up here. It's up to 42.70. So we'll see what happens with this one. I'm very interested to see what this one does as well. Maybe look for a short is what I'm kind of thinking with this one. Maybe a VWAP fade if it can set up for it. This along with SFIX is two that I'm going to be looking for fades on if they set up for it. Let's look at the overall market news here. Let's see here. All right, so according to MarketWatch, the markets are set to extend gains for a third session. The Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ are gaining by at least 0.3%. Oil prices are attempting to come back from a bear market, and tariff tensions still remain elevated here. So U.S. stock index futures rose today, putting the main benchmarks on track to book a third straight gain in the face of growing expectations for easy money policies from global central banks. And that is end quote from marketwatch.com. So yeah, we'll see what we get today. Gonna be looking for some shorts if we can get them. Gonna be looking for some shorts if we can, get a few decent setups with that. Had an okay day yesterday. I've kind of been dealing with some. It's been kind of hectic over on my end. My wife has had pneumonia 3 times in the last 6 months, and so they're renovating our bathroom, but maybe they think they found some type of mold, and my wife is like super allergic to mold apparently, and so she's had like 3 different lung infections in the last 6 months. Funny thing is though, like I haven't been sick at all. You know, I haven't been sick. I've been sick. I've had little mild colds, but I haven't run a fever in over a year. I'm not allergic to anything that I can actually think of. Never been allergic to anything that I know of. And so it's probably her immune system from being allergic to it. So we've been having to live upstairs. We were about to go to my mother-in-law's yesterday, but we decided to stay here because we got some results back from the air quality people. But it's been hectic. We've been having to move a lot of stuff. And yeah, it's been no bueno on my end. So yeah, what are you all watching? I'm watching CTRV, CIEN, SFIX. Looks good. Probably keep an eye on AMD like I typically do. AMD did me right yesterday for the most part. One that hasn't been doing me right is really the cannabis stocks like CGC. I've been getting hit with those. They've been faking me out a ton with fades lately. Let's see what else we get. EKSO. Let me know if you see any other decent gappers here. We've got here HEAR, which I believe is Turtle Beach, if I remember correctly. HEAR. Might be wrong there. I think it's Turtle Beach. We have AU, which is oil or gold. Sorry. We have UAL. What's up, Eric? What's up, man? NIO. Cedro. SDRL. Gotta look at Pinterest here. Maybe Uber and Lyft. An interesting thing for Uber, this is something I've been thinking about. So they have that new movie, no, it's not. And the main reason it's not, Ymir, is because 2 days ago it was at 10 cents. And so 2 days ago, CTRV was at 10 cents. It had a 70-to-1 reverse split. And, you know, it has great volume today, but this is like the first day that it's shown any type of volume. And so they may add it to their platform, but for now it's not. And like I said, it's understandable why. This one was at 10 cents on Tuesday or Monday. And so most 10-cent stocks aren't tradable. But yeah, speaking about Uber and Lyft, they have that what's that new Uber movie called? It's called Stuber, is what it's called. If that movie tanks, I'm going to short Uber. And if that movie does really well, if Stuber does really well, I'm going to long Uber short term. Probably opening weekend for that movie. See if there's some type of correlation. That's what I'm kind of thinking with Stuber. It's an Uber-based movie. They've actually got a movie about Uber now. And so if that movie does well, I can long Uber, at least on opening weekend. And if it does terribly, I can short Uber, at least on opening weekend. I probably feel a lot better about shorting it. I don't necessarily want it to do poorly, but I mean, it's a movie about Uber, and so if it does good, I'm sure it will at least reflect it somewhat. And they have to be paying Uber something for that, just to use their likeness in it and name. No, you can't trade CTRV at all. It's not tradable. Most penny stocks are not going to be tradable, Ymir. So most penny stocks are not going to be tradable. You're not going to be able to trade most of them. Now, some of them are, but most of the time you're not. TradeNet's great for like mid and high cap stocks, especially if you want to like short IPOs or something like that. Like you can short a lot of IPOs on IPO day with TEFs. But, you know, most penny stocks, they just don't have them. And they don't really teach about penny stocks either. All right, guys. Nice, Eric, killing it, man. Yeah, CTRV looks interesting for sure. It had It had a 70 to 1 reverse split on Monday. So yeah, it's interesting to see where that one goes as well. I'll definitely be watching it for sure, but yeah, I mean, if you want to check them out, like I said, here's the thing, right? This is why I think TradeNet is good. And I know people are going to hate on me for talking about TradeNet this early, and that's fine. But think about it like this, right? How much is a DOS paper trading platform? How much is a DOS paper trading platform? It's like $100 and something a month. It's like $130 a month, right? The intro account's $3.99. So for 2 months of paying for like a paper trading platform, you know, one of the ones you have to pay for, you could get an intro account and actually have the potential to make money, you know. And so if you want to check it out, there's the link. And maybe I'm biased, but I just think it makes sense for new traders. I think it's the cheapest way for a new trader to actually be able to short stocks, even IPOs. You can even short IPOs. I think you can get the most buying power for the cheapest amount. And I think you can get around the PDT rule. And I think it comes with a trading course and a trading chat room as well. And so I just think it's a ridiculous deal for new traders, honestly. And I think it has a lot of benefits. I think most new traders are going to lose their TradeNet account. Just to clarify, I think they're most likely going to lose their TradeNet account as well. But I think it's much cheaper to lose a TradeNet account than it is to lose a conventional account, because you're spending such a small amount of money. But I'll end my sleazy pitch for them right now. But yeah, I'm watching SFIX. SFIX is what I'm keeping an eye on. I'll probably watch AMD as well. We'll see what the SPY does today. The SPY's been up the last 2 days in a row. And so, like I said, I guess I'm more inclined to see it drop. But what's the closing price on the SPY? You know, the closing price really isn't that far off from where it's at now. The closing price is at 282.90. So right here is the closing price of the SPY. And so, yeah, I mean, it's not that far. It's only gapping up, 25 cents at this point. So a small gap up for the SPY. So it could go either way. I'm looking at it. If it breaks under this previous close, then I'm going to look to short a lot of these other ones. And so that's kind of my plan right now. If it breaks under this this previous close right here, I'm going to look to short some of these other mid and high cap stocks specifically. And so we'll see what we get. Yeah, man. I mean, they've had a lot of really nice pre-market action too, Eric. And so there's some decent plays to be had in pre-market for sure. There's a lot of action, at least right now. And so, you know, there's a lot of decent moves to be had in pre-market. And I mean, let me see if I can find an example of why I don't specifically trade pre-market. And now I'm not hating on anybody that does. Like, if you can do it profitably, hey, like, I'm happy for you. I understand that just because something doesn't work for me doesn't mean it's not going to work for other people. Now, with that said, let me see if I can find some examples of why. Oh, yeah, RWLK is probably why. Here's a good one. RWLK yesterday. What was the other one? What are some other gappers from earlier this week? A lot of times with gappers, you'll see it kind of spike up huge. And I know this was an offering, and so it's a little bit different. But But, well, I mean, Soli didn't crash back down until after the bell. But what you'll see a lot of the time in pre-market is like, let me see. It's kind of like what, not exactly what you get here with Kron, but you'll see it, a lot of times you'll see it push up and then completely fill the gap. And so it kind of squeezes everything back down. I don't know. I guess it's just my bias. Like, I'm just more inclined to short these big overextended gaps. Like, when I see a stock gap up and run up this much, I just kind of look at it as a shorting opportunity is really what I look at it as. I know I can short it. That's kind of my mentality on it. It's just kind of shorting these big, crazy, unnecessary moves. Yeah, GNCA is a good one too. GNCA looked like it would run up really nicely. Went up to 740s and now it's back down to 683. Essentially filled the gap before the bell rang. And so those are the ones. I think these parabolic movers are a little bit better though. Like CTRV, obviously a parabolic mover. It's gapped up from 5 to 12, essentially over 100% in pre-market. And so it gapped up over 100% so far. And so these parabolic movers I think are a little bit safer. With regard to this, but I think a lot of these lower volume moves are a little bit more unstable. Right, and for sure, moves happen really fast in pre-market, and it's hard to get out of stuff too because the spread's a little bit worse. It's going to be a little bit harder to get filled. If you market, it's super dangerous in pre-market. Yeah, SFIX looked like it would keep going as well, but this was an earnings play, and a lot of times earnings plays will do this. Yeah, man, I know a few people lost some money with RWLK yesterday. I mean, and this is what you'll see companies do a lot of the time. Like, the stock will get pumped up. I don't know by who. Maybe the company, maybe just hype in general. But you'll see you'll see a stock get pumped up, huge ridiculous move, and then the company will do the offering, and then they'll let go of the offering. They'll unleash the offering, and a lot of people will just get hit with it, and it's rough, man. It's rough. It's tough to deal with, and that's what you got to be careful. I understand it from a business perspective. They're getting the best possible price, but at the same time, you just gotta. I think even the companies understand that most of the time these big crazy gaps like this are not going to sustain themselves. That most of the time these big crazy gaps are going to come right back down. If you look at most gapping up stocks like this, especially in the small cap world, most of them are going to come right back down. It might take a few weeks or maybe even a month or two, but most of the time they're going to come back down. Some are going to get pumped up ridiculously until they're halted multiple times and then investigated, maybe sent back to the OTC market. Those happen a lot as well. I can think of LFIN and a few other ones, but most of the time, for one reason or another, they're going to come back down. Which in turn kind of leads me towards my bias with these, which is short bias. Most of the time, I'm looking to short these because not on the first day necessarily with the parabolic mover, but the second and third day, I'll definitely look to short them. GRFS over the VWAP. Yeah, GRFS looks okay here. I mean, it's below the VWAP. It just depends on what setting you have the VWAP one. Mitch and I's VWAP are a little bit different because sometimes, I use pre-market VWAP as well, and he just uses intraday. So his VWAP skips intraday, just a little bit different. But yeah, mostly I'm gonna be watching SFIX, AMD, probably the cannabis stocks, maybe the ride sharing stocks. Not necessarily, no. So what I mean by that, Netron, I mean, I still think, honestly, I think over 50% of them are going to drop. So I guess that'd be accurate. It's more so, I think that most gappers over 20% are going to give it back, especially for stocks under $10. It doesn't necessarily mean that day, and I really think shorting them on that day is a little bit more risky. But I think within time, within a month or a week or however long, I think they're going to come back down. And again, this is mostly talking about stocks under $10 to $15. So smaller cap stocks. Most of the time, they're going to give those gains back. With parabolic movers, though, specifically with parabolic movers, they can continue to get pushed up. Those can continue to run and continue to make crazy moves. And so it just depends. But most of the time, they come back down. Because a lot of times they're just getting hyped up. They're either getting pumped up or they're getting hyped up. And that hype is going to die eventually. We'll see. I mean, you never really know. You know, stocks can go parabolic and kind of go crazy, but you never really know. Basically, like I don't like shorting parabolic stocks at the open on the first day. I think that's pretty risky. I think it's much better to wait for the second day because a lot of times volume kind of gets a little bit worse the second day. People stop jumping into it as much. Hype dies a little bit and it starts to drop. Soli's a really good example of that. Like if you look at SOLY here, if you look at SOLY and look at really when it started making these crazy moves, the first day it actually ended roughly break even, a little bit red, but it ran up originally to $29. But then the second day, or maybe not. The second, let's see, it wasn't the second day either. Let me see. 1, 2. The third day, it started coming back down. Fourth day, it came back down. And so now it's down, it's down 50% from its highs. And I think it'll continue to probably drop. I don't know if it'll get as low as $6, but it's going to probably keep dropping. It's just super low float, though, for SOLY. All right, we have a good class on parabolic movers, and you'll see a very common pattern with them. Like one that I can think of is DPW, crypto stock. But if you look at the long-term chart, let me see if I can... this is usually what you get. You can see crypto stock run, and then just dies back down. Lower than it was before. And you'll see a lot of these with crypto stocks. MARA, kind of very similar move here. Pumped up. And then it just dies back down within a few days. We also have like the construction stocks, the Chinese construction stocks like YECO. And we had a few other ones. I'll have to look up the other Chinese construction stocks. But these happen a lot with those as well. Maybe it's not letting me put the weekly chart. Let's look at the daily chart. I don't know why YECO is not letting it work. But yeah, I'm going to be looking at SFIX here. I can draw out some resistance and support. I think these levels are pretty obvious. Maybe this one as well. I like these levels here. Yeah, those look well. Those look good. So if it could break down, if SFIX can break under really 28.75, it has a gap to fill. You can see the shadow here that it could possibly fill, where it's kind of void of any support and resistance. It's kind of what I'm looking for down to that previous closing price right here. And so that's what I'm looking at for SFIX. I think it does have that void to potentially fill, and that's really what I'm kind of shooting for here. See if it can fill some of that gap. If it specifically, like I said, breaks down under 28.75 or so, 28.70, 28.75. So that's what I'm going to look to attack with SFIX. We'll see what happens. Holding 900 shares of Soli. Wish me luck. Down over 700 already from yesterday. What are you, long or short? I'm assuming you're short. Or I'm assuming you're long. I'm sorry. You're probably long, right? If you're down that much already. I mean, the good thing about Soli is that its range is so big, it's possible for you to rebound from it. But, It's still an extremely risky trade trying to swing solely with huge sizing. The range is just huge for that one. So good luck, man. I hope it works out, brother. You're long though, right? I'm assuming you're long. Which I think is long is fine. I think because I think it's down so much yesterday that it may rebound some here. And that would mean you're down about $1 a share, right? Yeah, I mean, like I said though, I think this one's a little bit extended on the downside, and so it may bounce up. It may rebound quickly here for you. Um, I think it's a little extended on the downside now. I mean, you got to look at the daily chart to really determine this though. And per the daily chart, it really doesn't look bad. But I think the big level is going to be like right here at like 1650 or so. I think 1650 is going to be the major level. Again, not an investment professional, not liable for any losses you take. Got to make your own assessment of the market and trade responsibly. I'm just giving my opinion on it. Pure speculation. All right, guys. We got 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. Let's do this. Let's get ready here. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look that bad for you, honestly, on the long side. It really doesn't. It looks okay. It's just, it's extremely risky either way because, again, I think most of these parabolic movers are going to come back down. And so, I think the daily doesn't look bad, but you never really know with these kind of crazy runs here. And so good luck, brother. I hope it works out for you, man. I really do. And it doesn't look bad, honestly. If you look at yesterday, like, just off of sentiment alone, we had a big red day yesterday. And so I think at least originally at the open, you might get a bounce. You might. You can never be 100% sure. I just think you might get a bounce originally at the open. We'll see, though. I mean, CTRV doesn't look bad here. I mean, the volume's decent. And so we'll see. I mean, it doesn't look bad, really. Again, and I'm right at around 30. I'm at right around 236,000. 236,000. So I'm down about 4K. But we still got a few days left. I think the competition ends. I think it ends on Tuesday or Monday, probably. All right, guys. So we got about a minute and a half left. A minute and a half. Let's do this. All right, we got about a minute and 10 seconds. Let's do it. Just going to try to get ready. AMD's one I kind of naturally gravitate to towards the open, and so I might watch that one. I don't think I can trade CTRV, but we'll see what we get here. Yeah, good luck all. Let's do it. We got 2 or 3 days left. I don't know if it's 2 or 3, but we got a few days. Really, I think we might have 4 days left, right? I think we might have 4 days left. It just depends on if it ends on Tuesday. It started on Tuesday, so it should end there. It just depends. I'm going to be looking at AMD for the moving average crossover. And so I'm going to be looking for the crossover action on AMD first. And so it just depends on which way that happens. There's the bell, guys. There's the bell. Let's do this. So the market is open now. All right, we're getting spike in Cron and NVIDIA. So I'm assuming this is going to go up here for AMD. Yeah, look at CTRV Go, guys. CTRV Go here. Yep, there goes AMD up as well. Look at CTRV. It's up to 1275 or so, 1275. So a crazy move here. Like I said, there goes AMD with that bullish run. I kind of called it out. I said I thought this one would go up. And mostly just because I see NVIDIA spiking up here. The reason I knew this was going to happen is because of NVIDIA. NVIDIA was making a big move up, and so that's kind of what we got. But yeah, you can look at CTRV here. Big pullback and a quick pullback for CTRV. I think everybody's taking profits at this point. If we can get the moving average crossover with the break under the low of the day right here for AMD, I'll consider it. But it just depends. If it continues to run up, I'm not going to mess with it. Big washout for CTRV. NVIDIA pulling back some here. AMD looking pretty bullish here, pretty strong. And the market's dropping. And like I said, it's kind of somewhat predictable here. Again, you can see this line I drew earlier for the SPY, which was the previous day's closing price. And look at exactly where this thing goes to. Exactly right up to this previous day's closing price. And so if it battles this and it actually breaks underneath this level, then I'm going to look to kind of get short in a lot of these other ones. Because that means it's actually red on the day. Once it breaks under here like it just did, that's going to mean it's red on the day. Because that's the previous day's closing price. And so if that breaks, then I'm going to look at a lot of these other ones for like VWAP fades, rejections, low of the day breaks, and stuff like that. Yeah, solely rebounding some. Looking at SQ2, I don't mind shorting SQ or Roku here. They need to set up a little bit better for them, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. AMD's looking pretty strong as well. So I may consider a VWAP bounce if AMD pulls back to like the 30-10 area. And again, like look at where the SPY's battling, right where that level I drew is. Little broke under it for a split second, but never held. And so it's kind of right around that previous day's close, right around red and green is kind of what you look for with these. Yeah, CTRV going absolutely crazy. Rebounding already. And so this thing is just, honestly, it's way too unpredictable for me. Look at that gap. Look at that gap in just normal movement here. Look at this normal just gap between these two. Like, look at that. Yeah, the volume's going absolutely ridiculous for CTRV right now. And it looks pretty good. It looks pretty strong, honestly, right here. And so this is why you never short parabolic movers on day one. Is because this can happen. AMD looking really bullish here as well. Super bullish here. If it pulls back to this level here, I'll consider shorting it. Same thing with SQ here. SQ might be setting up for a fade. I don't mind SQ for the fade here too. It's just what kind of share size do I want to take with it? And if I can catch it early enough. Definitely not that many shares. Let's see about 1,000. Alright, so I'm in SQ with 1,000 shares. We'll see how it works out. Just a little fun trade for now. Looks like a decent fade in all honesty, so we'll see if we can get a few $100 from this one. Build up a little bit of cushion on the day before we attack again. Not bad. My risk is roughly 85 or so, 85. I like it here. It just depends on how much the SPY actually rebounds. And again, my risk is right around 85 or so. And so I'm only risking about $200. We'll see if the SPY gets rejected here, but the SPY is rebounding some again. SFIX, I mean, I wouldn't mind shorting SFIX if it pulls back to the VWAP in all honesty as well. It just depends on that if that gets there or not. AMD looking strong, and the SPY is actually kind of washing out. We'll see if the SPY fades. Should be better for me at least. We'll see. If gnarly rip here for SQ. Right about my risk level. It did confirm it there. Look at that confirmation. We'll see if it holds now, though. That's the biggest thing. Nice little confirmation in my risk level right here. Like I said, 85 is roughly my risk level. And this is why I never said hard stops. Still getting close, though. Got to be somewhat strict with it. Hey, I hope Soli's working out for you, brother. Let me see. Yeah, see, I told you, man. It looked good for a bounce, at least at the open. At least at the open, it looked good for a rip. And so, happy for you, man. Just remember, don't marry that one, you know. All right, getting very, very close to my risk level. All right, I got out. Maybe it scared me out. Oh, a very small $200 loss. SPY's ripping up too, so it's probably the right move. Yeah, see, there we go. SPY's ripping up too, so probably the right move there. Let's see what AMD's doing. If AMD can pull back to the VWAP, I'll consider this one as well. Down to roughly 30.26. So that's what we're going to wait for. But yeah, Soli looks really good here. Kron looked like a beautiful fade too. Nvidia is just super strong today, though. Just super strong today for Nvidia. I'm moving on from SQ. It's dead to me. I'm moving on. I can look at CGC, although Kron faded nicely already. Yeah, I mean, I think if Soli really starts to break highs and get some volume in, it could really start to rip up. So if Soli can start breaking highs, I really like it. All right, so I'm going to take off the moving average crossover, the moving averages here, and just use the VWAP for AMD. And so basically what I'm looking for is if I get in around 30, I could set a risk level really about 30.10, maybe 30.08. And so my risk level is about 20 cents. My reward level can be from around 30 up to 60. That's not that good of risk reward. Let me see. But I do like the risk level. Maybe I could use 15 as my risk to make it roughly 2 to 1. Yeah, there you go for Soli. It's looking good for you, brother. SPY's ripping up, breaking highs as well. The SPY's breaking high of the days. And so for long plays, while the SPY's doing this, I just got to look at Kron with that fade, man. Beautiful fade. While the SPY's doing this, I just got to be sure to look more for longs. I don't hate some shorts and some unrelated stocks like CGC. But mostly I got to stick with I got to stay away from like really the high cap stocks is what I have to be careful with. Like Roku looks good here for a fade, but you know, it's the SPY's really bullish right now. So with the SPY breaking highs, I don't want to jump in short on a high cap stock. Nice, Eric. Hey, killing it, man. Congrats, brother. Nice work, dude. Awesome, man. See, this is an interesting level for Soli here. If Soli can break 1750s, I like it. Maybe Roku was a good fade. SQ has not been treating me right with fades lately. It just hasn't. Big pullback in the SPY, though. I can look at SFIX if you can get up to like 30 here with a pretty tight 50 risk or so. 52 risk. So my risk is about 20 cents. We can go for about 1,500 shares. Man, I really want to short it here, but man, that rip is kind of scary. It just dragged the VWAP down too. Look at this rip for SFIX. I was really about to short it, but man, I don't know if I want to anymore, guys. Looks kind of strong here. Look at that rip down on Soli. We'll joke around with 500 shares on SFIX. Tight risk. Quick stop out for like 50 bucks. I'll take it. I just don't like how this one's acting. I think today's more of a long day. So kept that one pretty small, like a $60 loss. Very reasonable. Still got to take my swing here, but I'm going to wait for, probably wait for a long setup. The SPY is pretty bullish right now. And so like Nvidia pulls back to the VWAP at like 42.80, 142.80, I'll consider it. AMD, if it pulls back to the VWAP at like 30.40, I'll probably take that. And so it just depends here. Hey, man, happy for you, Eric. Congrats, brother. Killing it, man. Nice work. All right, Nvidia. Maybe I got faked out with SFIX, but it was a very small small loss. So Nvidia, if it gets down to 82, I'll take it with a risk of 50. So about a 30-cent risk. Might slowly start to scale in this one for like 300 shares. All right, jumping in there with 300 shares. Gonna maybe look to add another 500 or so in this one. Like I said, I'm using this 42.50 level as my risk. I like that 42.50 level. Big thing to watch though is the SPY here. We'll see if the SPY rebounds. But this is a very small trade at this point. Only 300 shares. I don't hate the bounce play. It doesn't look terrible. I think I just got to be pretty set with like 45.50 as my risk. Maybe 40 I could probably use just to give it that extra 10 cents down here. But all things considered, it's a very small trade relative to what I got to do for this competition. We'll see if we get a bounce here. I think AMD might be a good short if this one does hold down there too. Man, look at CGC fade. Yeah, I think the market's kind of turning a little bit here too. Nice, Heredia. Jorge, nice work. Congrats. Good trade. Still a little early, still got a lot of room. We'll just see if we can get that bounce that we're looking for here. What's my entry with this one? My entry is 98, so not that bad. Getting a little bit of a rebound in the SPY. I could also consider shorting Cron if it gets up there, but Nvidia is definitely looking worse here. I just got to be ready to jump out of this one. Oof, brutal drop there for Nvidia, honestly. Came right back down to that level, but man, that was brutal. Quick drop too. Yeah, and what's really catching me today, though, guys, is the SPY being so choppy. But again, like, I wouldn't be this active. It's just I have 3 days left in the competition, so I can't really, I can't really just wait around. I got 3 days to make like 30,000 in this competition. And so I got to just kind of go for it, take some pretty big swings. And it's fun. This is actually a pretty small down day relative to how it's been in the past. So we still got some time to take some swings. What I'm looking at, it depends on what Nvidia does here. But what I'm looking at right now is Cron, especially if the market starts to tank. Maybe CGC. SFIX is looking a lot better here. Steve, so it's the TradeNet competition. So like the goal is to make as much as possible in 2 weeks, and we have 3 days left. And so I'm pretty behind. Definitely trading more active than I would with my live account. And like I said, at this point, I'm going to look at SFIX again. At this point, it's just I got to just kind of take my swing here. And so that's all I'm trying to do is just take my swing. And so if you see me trading a little bit crazier than normal, it's because I'm kind of taking my swing. Oh, man, I just missed SFIX. Look at that drop. This is the drop I was trying to take advantage of. And I got faked out here right around 60. It faded nicely, but never got to my level. Same thing with Nvidia. But really, what's faking me out is the SPY. If you look at the SPY, it's going up and down and up and down, which is what it does a lot of the time, but a little bit more choppy than last few days. Barely missed SFIX though. And Nvidia is now running up. But like I said, I'm only down 450, which is very small. My max loss on the day is 3,500. But yeah, I'll be back to my live account next week. Alright, market's tanking here. SPY's dropping. Kind of hurts to see SFIX fake me out, but it is what it is. I wonder if SQ faked me out as well. I'm going to slowly start scaling into Cron here with just a few hundred shares. Looking to add my final sizing at 76. And so about 10 cents away is where I'm going to add my last little bit of shares. I'll probably try to scale in with like 2,000 shares or so. Yeah, Soli looks good here, really. I mean, if it could break 1750, it looks really good. All right, so we're getting a little bit more upward movement. I really don't mind this. Like I said, if it can move up some more, I'd really like to add more to it because at this point, it's only a 500 share position. And I'm getting in early in case it drops beforehand with CRON. But at this point, it's just a little bit too small of sizing for me. I need to get a little bit bigger with size. So I'd actually prefer a little bit of a bounce back up and see if I can get my max entry right there at around 75 or so. I like the risk of about 92, so pretty tight risk. 15 cents. Big reward too from 70s down to 40s. So my entry is 64. So I don't mind adding to this one. But yeah, look at that SFIX drop. Like I said, you saw me getting ready to jump in this one short, and like as I was getting ready, this thing just tanked. Hurts a little bit, but it is what it is. And I really don't mind SFIX. Again, I can take this one too if it gets up to 22. I'll probably short this one because, I mean, up at 22, that 60 level is such a good risk and it's such a big reward. The reward's like 70 or 80 cents. There we go with Kron. That's honestly what I want to see. I added another 500 here, and I'll continue adding as it gets up to 75. Gonna go ahead and add another 1,500 shares to Kron right here. Entry is 66. So roughly break even. CFRX. We can look at CFRX. Yeah, penny play really making moves here. I think this level is going to be the most interesting level at 67. Roughly break even for this last one. I'd like to get at least another 500 shares in to kind of scale into the position a little bit more, but I don't know if we're going to get that. The market's kind of tanking here now. And with 1,500 shares, not bad, but not great either. Yeah, I mean, and there's a flush, but I would have liked to scale in a little bit more. We still got some time. It may bounce at 55s and 50s right here. The SFIX trade hurts, though. Look at that. Beautiful fade. Just barely got faked out of it. Let's see what I'm in. I'm 1,500. I'll probably start scaling out of it down there at 55 if we can get down there. Take half off or so. Or take a third off. Again, like if you look at this level right here, this is going to be a pretty big level. The $0.50 also. I mean, the goal is to have it continue to break down and hit that low of the day mark. It's kind of what we're looking for. We'll see if it happens. The market's looking good for it, but gonna give it time. Gonna go ahead and get out of 500 there. Hold my 1,000. Try to let this last little 1,000 shares work. See if we can break under that lows. Just to bank some profits in this one. There's 54s. 53s. Beautiful breakdown. I'm going to take another 500 off here. And hold this last little 500 shares in case it actually breaks down bigger here for this low of the day crack. It's down to 47s. Looks good. This is the low of the day, though, so if it bounces anywhere, it's probably going to bounce right here. There we go. Looks good. We'll give it time. Looks weak here. Trying to give it some time. I'm going to go ahead and get out the last little bit right there for a roughly a little bit under 200 or a little bit under $300 gain. Brought me back a little bit on the day now. Got a little bit better room at this point. Beautiful fade though. That's kind of why I wanted to scale into it like that. We got another insecure dude over here. It's good to be king over here, though. It really is. Like I said, I mean, if you look at my live account, I had literally had like 12 or 13 green days in a row. I haven't lost in like 12 or 13 days. All streamed live. And so I can't fake that if I wanted to. Now when I kind of have fun with this demo competition account, all the insecure dudes come out. I mean, he was saying it in a hateful way, Iron Man. I mean, I don't think anybody can question that. And honestly, I don't even want to really talk about it because the more attention I give haters and stuff like that, the more they're going to be there. So I just rather just ignore it from now, you know. AMD. Let me see. I mean, the only thing is NVIDIA here. The only problem is NVIDIA looks pretty weak. And so I don't want to get caught in AMD's breakdown. Plus the SPY is also dropping down here. And so I don't want to I don't want to risk shorting a mid-cap stock while the SPY looks weak. Right, I mean, for sure. I mean, listen, people can't say anything about my trading. You know, like I said, on my live account, all streamed live, so I can't fake it. I'm on like 12 or 13 green days in a row. And so when I have fun with a competition account that I have to really actively trade on, all the haters kind of come out, and it's kind of their chance to make fun of me. And that's fine. But like I said, I'm on 13 green days in a row with my real account, and I can't fake that if I wanted to. And whenever I do that, ironically, they stay silent. You know, they're quiet when I do that. As soon as I kind of have fun with a demo account, they start coming out. So it is what it is. Insecurity is just all it is. Right, 100%, Ben. That's all it is, man. I'm looking at AMAT maybe for a VWAP rejection or a VWAP fade here. It doesn't look terrible. And like I said, I kind of just have to take my swing today. I don't hate AMAT here. I got to give myself a pretty tight risk area. I mean, Iron Man, like we teach a little bit, but like Mitch and I always try to say, like we're not experts or gurus. Like we don't charge anybody for anything. We just stream live and let people watch us trade live, regardless of whether we win or lose, so they can kind of see what it's like. Like again, we don't charge for anything. We do any classes we have, we upload them for free. And so if people don't like our trading style, that's fine. They don't have to watch them, you know. Wow, Iron Man. I mean, I think it's pretty self-evident that it's that he was just speculating that. I mean, I think that's a pretty honest, you know, assumption there. But listen, man, we're not trying to start drama in here, Iron Man. I mean, it seems like you're just kind of being a little desperate to criticize here, brother. So, you know, let's calm down here, man. But again, I mean, I think it's a pretty honest assumption there, you know? Right, man. It's funny. But I mean, look, I'm looking at Uber maybe here. Like I said, I could think about AMAT. The only problem is the volume's a little bit low for AMAT. You know, that's the only issue there. And it doesn't look terrible, but the only risk level I really like for AMAT is maybe right here at 70, and I think that's just a little bit too tight. Right, man. Iron Man, calm down, brother. You know, you seem upset over there, dude. Calm down, bro. You'll be alright. You know? Kind of looking at Uber. We'll see what we get. Uber doesn't look terrible, but again, I would have to. I know, but I'll put it like this, Iron Man. And like I said, I don't really want to keep talking about it because that's going to kind of fuel the haters. But when somebody comes in here and they say, "Are you guys serious? You need to learn how to read a chart." You know, that seems pretty hateful in my opinion. And I think objectively, I think most people would assume that's kind of a hateful comment. And if you don't assume that's a hateful comment, I mean, more power to you, brother. But I'm pretty sure most would assume that that's a pretty hateful comment. Now, it doesn't necessarily. Are we 100% sure it's a hateful comment? No. But I think it's pretty safe to speculate on that it's probably a hateful comment. And I think that should be self-evident with your master's degree in psychology, to put it bluntly. But hey, I mean, listen, I know you're streaming right now, Forex, and I think that maybe, you know, if you want to go deep into psychology, I think maybe you're kind of projecting some insecurity here as well, Iron Man. And so, yeah, man, more power to you, brother. But again, I think that's kind of how it is, man. Fees for TradeNet, it depends. They're more favorable with small sizing. For instance, the platform is $15 a month, and commissions, it depends. It's 0.006 cents per share. Now, if you use bigger sizing, there are some fees in there, and so it really equals out to about 0.0075 cents per share is what it kind of equals out to. And so, you know, there's a 150 per trade minimum. So like if you're buying less than 400 shares, it's roughly $4 for a round trip, which is pretty cheap. But if you're buying like 2,000, 3,000 shares, it's going to be like 20 or 30 bucks for a trade. And so it just depends on what share size you're taking, but it's roughly that's roughly what it is. But yeah, enough with the drama, guys. Let's start focusing on trading. I only have 3 days left to take my swing and win this competition. And so I just kind of want to focus on trading right now, and not unnecessary, pointless drama. Ugh. Hmm. What did AMD end up doing? Did it ever bounce off the VWAP? I know somebody called that one out for me. It did. Hey, I should have taken that one, man. I'm looking at Kron again, too. If Kron pulls back to the VWAP, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to take Kron again because that would be the third fade, which statistically has much worse accuracy. Solely ended up washing out, too. That's rough. And I could look at Nvidia for a rejection, but with AMD looking so strong in the microchip sector, I don't know if I want to. And did AMAT do it? It did. Look at that AMAT rejection, man. I almost took it too. Bummer. Hero, I don't know what you mean, brother. I know, but there's no need to expose them with facts, Iron Man, because then that's just going to be. I'm going to be giving them the attention that they crave. You know, most of the time when people are like that, they're just insecure. You know, they're insecure. They haven't really done anything, and you know they get mad at people like me who have a platform. You know, and it's just mostly based off of insecurity. And like I said, with your master's degree in psychology, you should understand that. Now, you know, insecurity is what it is. I don't hate them for it, but I would much less rather deal with them on a daily basis. And so it's just easier to ban them when they do that. SPY pulling back up to the VWAP. Let's see. You can see the SPY's pulling back up to the VWAP here. And again, you can see this level I drew. Right here, right around the previous day's closing price, and you can see where the SPY bounced off both times, was right at that level. Now, it all depends on if I think it's going to maintain under that level or over. It's been pretty choppy this morning overall, so it's kind of hard to tell which way the market's going to head right now. I could look at Roku here. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Fishbone. Roku here pulling up to 99. I could consider shorting it with a risk level of about 23 or so. And so my risk would be about from 60 to 20. And so that's about 60 cents of risk. And then a reward level from 60 down to 40, which would be $1.20 risk, which would be pretty good risk reward, 2 to 1 there. Now, it just depends on what specifically the SPY does here. If the SPY starts to rip, it's going to be a little bit worse for me in this strategy. But it doesn't look terrible. Yeah, man, it looked rough for Blade. It's pulling back. I'd be very careful around 1650, man. And that's kind of what I said. I said I thought Soli might spike a little bit at the open. But like I said, I wouldn't marry it on the spike, you know. I can slowly start to scale in this one with a few hundred shares here. Like I said, my risk is about 60 cents with this one. Alright, I'm in with 400 shares on Roku. We'll see if we get that washout here. Try to give it some time. SPY looks better here now that it's dropping, and so we'll try to give it some time. Small trade, though. RB says buy gold. What about Apple, man? What about buying Apple? If you're new here, you might not get that inside joke. About buying Apple, man. Do it now. Why aren't you buying Apple? Do it now. All right, so it looks a little bit better with Roku here. I wish I would have taken bigger sizing, but hey, I can't complain. I don't mind adding to it if it gets up to 65 here. Yeah, man. Because there's no such thing as a float, Sid. Hey, it's back up. For Soli. Yeah, it looks good, man. I mean, I'm looking at Roku here. The only problem is I'm analyzing the SPY as this happens because Roku is a larger cap stock. And so if the SPY starts to rip up, it may be worse for my Roku trade. Again, I think my entry is fine here. Let me see what my entry is. 39. Not that bad. Yeah, just be careful with Soli. It's looking the volume's a little low relative to the price of Soli, and so just be careful with that one, man. That one could go either way, and it could squeeze quick too. I think this is the big level for Roku here. I like the rejection, but I think this is the big level now, right around 50, 60 or so. Looks better, but we'll see if we get that flush that we're looking for. Hey, appreciate it, Justin. Thanks, brother. All right, there's the SPY flush, and so that should be great for me in this Roku trade. And that's why we're getting a flush back down. We'll see if we get that break under 99 this time. Look at that SPY flush here. This should be great for me, like I said. Let's just hope it actually cracks here. There we go. Alright, I took half off there at 200. Gonna let this last little bit work, see if we get a bigger breakdown down to maybe the low of the day is kind of what I'm looking for. SPY had a quick flush, but at this point it's not going to be a losing trade at the very least. Entry is 39. SPY quickly rebounded, so that's a little bit worse for me. See if we get that whole dollar break. We really want to see a break under 99 here. SPY's running up. I might just take profits here, guys. SPY's running up. We'll see. I'll let it battle, but SPY rebounding. If it holds over 25, I'll get out. I think that's a reasonable level. Yeah, I'm out. Not a bad trade, though. Kept that one break even on the last little bit. Took profits, and so guaranteed some profits there. About a $120 gain. A $100 gain. I'll take it. Thanks, Hero. Thanks, brother. Yeah, look, got out of this one at the right time too. Look at that. That's how you kind of protect yourself with VWAP fades. If you take profits at the right spot, even if a squeeze like this happens, you're still pretty safe in the trade. And so I got out at the right level. And you can see I got out there because that's the most obvious reversal point. And so there's the squeeze. Glad I got out when I did. All right, guys, only down 90 on the day. Kind of a meh break-even day. We'll see what else we can find, though. Still got some time. Still kind of early. Let me know if you see any big cap stocks that are moving. There's the SPY dropping. Maybe that faked me out. I think Roku might drop back down. Hey, appreciate the sub, Amy. Welcome. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Regardless of whether I win or lose, we do this live every weekday morning. So we day trade live on stream every weekday. Yeah, there goes solely breaking under 1650 for Blade. So I'd be careful here, brother. I'm kind of looking at AMAT here. AMAT is a little tricky, though. It's choppy right now, which is the only kind of reason I'm hesitant in this one, because it's kind of choppy. The volume's overall pretty low, and it looks like a good little rejection. It's also stayed in this range, but it just looks a little bit too choppy for me to want to mess with. Too low volume. Hey, well, don't marry it, 4Blade. Listen, man, it's better to take a small loss than a big loss, brother. So, and it's better to take a big loss than to lose your account. So, all right, well, I'm waiting here. We'll see what we get. Not seeing anything I really like right now. AMD, man, I should have taken that bounce. Somebody called that one out. You're good, man. You're good, man. I could also look at Kron here, but like I said, this would be the third fade of the day for Kron. I like CGC a little bit better. SPY's looking weak too. TLRY really doesn't look that bad here. It's just lower volume. That's the only problem. Well, looks like Roku was the right time to get out. AMAT, probably better thing I didn't get it anyway. I could look at Cron here, but if Cron breaks, I mean, Cron just broke that high at 50 and it broke the $0.50. So, I mean, it's still got some resistance on above it, but gonna wait. Yeah, if you want to check it out, here's the link for TradeNet. And like I said, if anybody wants to use the same broker Mitch and I use, there's the link. Like I've said before, TEFs, it's a ridiculous deal for new traders. The intro account starts at $3.99, and so for $3.99 you get 14,000 in buying power to trade with. There's no PDT rule, so you can day trade as much as you want. You can short anything that's tradable, and it also comes with a day trading course, access to their trading chat room, and a lot of other cool stuff. You can even short IPOs on IPO day. There is a profit split, so it's very similar to a prop firm, really. It's like a 70-30 split for the intro account. And like I said, I think it makes sense. I don't think anywhere else in the trading world can you get that much buying power, the ability to actually short stocks with no PDT rule for such a cheap price. Like I said, the intro account's $3.99 through my link. And so if you want to check that out, there it is. It's a great way to help support the channel as well. And so we do get a kickback from it. And so it's a great way to help support the channel. Hey, green is good, Spin. Green is good, brother. Like I said, CGC, I'll consider it. I could also look to short TLRY here. A little bit worse spread, though. And I like CGC because I could really use this level as my risk, about 74, 75, right about here. Really 80 probably to be safe. So a pretty big reward there. Hey, what's up, Red Snake? Hey, nice, brother. Hey, so, hey, man, I'm telling you, listen, Red Snake, I'm happy you took advantage of that, brother. Like I said, one of my favorite strategies is looking for these big overextended moves and shorting them. And you could probably see, like, I just barely missed SFIX, and the first one I got barely stopped out on. But my trade idea was correct, and you can see this is a beautiful example of a gap fill. I'm looking at CGC really quick here, though. But yeah, I'll talk about it once I get in CGC a little bit here. Alright, so I'm in CGC with 1,000 shares. But yeah, one of my examples here is this gap right here is what I like about SFIX. It's got this whole gap to fill right here. And it's already filled more than half of it. So I'm glad somebody took advantage of it at the least. I appreciate the sub, call. Appreciate it. Welcome. Yeah, hit that subscribe button if y'all haven't already, guys. And like I said, I'm in with 1,000 shares of CGC. My goal is to kind of scale into it up to 60 cents. And probably keep 60 as kind of my max entry level there. But the reason I'm getting in a little bit early is because it's the $0.50. And if it gets rejected here, it might not come back to my entry level. The realist, #1, it's not my stuff. You know, like I'm not TradeNet. I don't work for TradeNet. I don't get the $400. So I mean, you can buy it if you want. I'm just posting that link if you're interested in checking that out. #2, everything that I do for free, man. You know, like I upload everything for free. any classes or content, it's all for free. The stream's free. And so, yeah, I mean, it's up to you, man. You don't have to sign up. I'm not going to force you to do it. But besides, I mean, I live stream every day. And so I can't fake anything if I wanted to, you know? Like a lot of these other dudes will cherry pick their winners and just upload their winners. I live stream every day, man. I can't fake anything if I want to. All of my trades are live. And if I don't stream them live, I show my trade log and everything afterwards. So, you know, watch it if you want. If not, no stress either way, brother. Yeah, man. I don't know. All right, so like I said, I'll slowly scale into CGC because I can keep a pretty tight risk at like 80 for about 20 cents. A much bigger reward target, at least down to like 40.15 or so right here. And so I don't mind scaling into it up to here. But if it, one thing to consider, if it does break this level now, it's putting in a higher high. And so I got to be a little bit more weary of that. Yeah, Greg. Right, but I mean, like I said, the realist, it's not my stuff, man. You know, yeah, that's TradeNet. I don't work for TradeNet, and so how successful I am as a trader has nothing to do with TradeNet. You know what I mean? And so, and like I said, anything that I put out for free. And so that's kind of the flaw in that logic, you know. All right, so we are getting a little bit of a spike up. Again, I don't mind adding to it here. Yeah, I mean, they're just the platform and broker I use. Yeah, Brady. I mean, that's what it is, right? But you have to understand. Hold on, I got to focus on this one. So I'm going to add one more lot of 500 shares here and be done with it if it doesn't work out. Because it's not my company, the realist. You know, I mean, I don't think that's a really hard concept to understand. I don't own TradeNet. I don't work for TradeNet. You know, and so whatever I do in trading doesn't really have anything to do with TradeNet. Yeah, man. And so I think you misunderstood something, and now you're just kind of holding on to it because you don't want to, you know, accept the fact that you misunderstood it, man. You know what I mean? But hey, whatever. More power to you, brother. It's up to you, man. All right, and like I said, I'm going to keep my risk level at around 40.80 here. I could also use this 72 level, which would be a little bit tighter. And yeah, just to explain it, Brady, like it's like a prop firm, right? There's a 70-30 split. So you keep 70% of your profits on the intro account. They keep 30%. And so it's like a prop firm. The max loss is $700 though. So the max loss is $700. So if you go under 13,300 in equity, they close your account down. And so it's very similar to a prop firm. Best way I can describe it. I know the realist, but it's not my company, man. It is not my company. I don't work for TradeNet. I don't own TradeNet. I don't own shares in TradeNet. It is not my company, man. And besides, I'm not selling anything. I stream everything live for free on YouTube. Any classes or courses, I upload them for free on YouTube. You know what I mean? And so I don't charge for anything, you know? And I get it, man. Listen, I understand. There's a lot of gurus out there that, you know, honestly, a lot of gurus out there are cherry picking their winners, uploading those, and then saying, hey, spend $5,000 on my trading course. Like, I get it, man. The trading world is full of it. And I understand you being skeptical. You know what I mean? I understand you being skeptical. Now, again, I don't work for TradeNet. I don't own TradeNet. I don't own shares in TradeNet. I'm an affiliate of TradeNet. And so, you know, but it's not my course. It's not mine. I don't make any, you know, I don't make the $400 if you sign up, you know. It's just the platform and the broker I use. And, you know, I'm just posting the link for the broker I use. Yeah, 100%, Greg. I mean, I think, really, guys, what I think is going on here is that I think the realist kind of understands it now, but he may kind of feel a little dumb about it. And so instead of being like, yeah, I misunderstood you guys, I understand it now, he's kind of holding on to it because I think it's really hard to be introspective and, you know, say, okay, maybe I just misunderstood that. And so instead, he's kind of holding on to it, you know, and that's okay. You know, more power to him. But again, like I said, don't sign up, man. I don't care. It's not my company, you know. And so, good luck, man. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. But yeah, man, it's up to you, brother. No stress. I get it. Uh-oh. Okay, so now he's saying, yeah, with that last comment, we know we're getting trolled here. I'm more successful than everybody. I believe you, bro. I got you, man. I believe you. Right, and like I said, the realist, that may be true if it was my course. You know what I mean? If it was my course, I would completely understand. You know, wanting to see my results. If it was my course, like I said, I completely understand, you know. But it isn't my course, and I think that's been pretty self-evident for the last 15 minutes or so. And so, you know, repeating that over and over again like it makes sense doesn't make it make sense. You know what I mean? Right. Don't hate on. Never mind. He just dropped his experience, you know. Right, exactly. Experienced traders don't need to tell everybody how great they are, you know. Yep. If it was my course, sure. All right, so it's getting kind of close to my risk level. If it breaks 73, I'll probably just jump out of this one. 73 probably. I'll probably end up jumping out of it now. Yeah, I'm out of that one. Just squeezed up too much. I can also look at SFIX here if it squeezes up. But again, guys, like I could have hung it up after I was green on the day. I kind of have to go for it. We've got 3 days left in this competition for this demo account. And so, you know, the goal is just to try to take my swing as much as possible. Yeah, everybody just ignore him. Like I said, it's not my course. Asking for credentials is completely understandable if it was my course, but it's not my course, and I think that's been pretty self-evident for the last 20 minutes. And so let's just not talk about it anymore. It's kind of hard arguing with people that refuse to understand stuff, so let's just move on. I'm trying to be as nice as possible about it too. I'm glad I didn't short AMAT, and I could also look at SFIX, but really for the last 3 days in this competition, I'm kind of thinking about just swinging some stuff here, like getting in a swing trade and seeing if that's going to work out. Maybe look for like a big overextended stock and then just shorting it and holding it overnight. A robot that takes trades? What are you talking about, man? This is actually I'm kind of appreciating this right now, to be honest, guys. A robot that takes trades. Am I a robot? I don't know, man. Oh man, I didn't realize that. A robot that takes trades. Where did we get to this point? How did we get here? You know, I'm confused, man. I'm so confused right now. Honestly, it's cheering me up a little bit, though, you know. So I may start slowly scaling into SFIX here. Keeping the risk pretty small. What's the range? Big range. So I'm going to start getting in with like 400 shares. Yeah, nobody respond. At this point, responding is just moot. At this point, just leave it alone. Let's just move on. Yeah, it's probably best to just ignore it from here on out, man. Alright, so we'll see what we get with Soli. Again, I don't mind slowly adding to it if it bounces up to like 28. The SPY is kind of rebounding here, though, which makes it a little bit more untrustworthy. But it is what it is. Got to take my swing. This is the last time I'm going to answer you, the realist. There is no robot. That's the last time I'm responding there, man. Yeah, I did, man. I feel bad about it now. No, somebody said it wasn't my course. Like, it's not my course. Like, I didn't write that course. I don't teach that course. It's not my course. That's it. I'm going to try to be done. I know I went back on what I said. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am, man. That's why no more responses. All right, so we get a little bit of a drop here for SFIX. I'm only in with 400 shares. Ideal goal here is down to the low of the day at like 2660. I could also look to kind of VWAP reject solely here. That's a big range stock. Yeah, I might actually do that here too. Let me make this so I can get two platforms up here. What's the range in solely? Let's see. I like this one here too. I'm only gonna get in with 200 shares of solely here. Yeah, I think up to the VWAP was a reasonable buy signal for solely. Like I said, though, I'm in this one like only 200 shares. Just gonna look to add to it up to 1650 or so, depending on how it acts here. It's just a big range stock. It's at the VWAP, and so it looks like an okay VWAP rejection. Only problem is like the market is squeezing up right now. All right, I'm going to take half off of SFIX, so I'm only in with 200 shares at this point. With solely, I'm still in with 200. My entry is 1612 with solely. Not bad. Gonna add another 100 to solely here now that I can get a little bit better average. Who's Ken M? Alright, I gave him his chance. I gave him a shot. It's just insecurity. Nah, it's just insecurity. Nah, Hero doesn't speak that good of English, honestly. Hero is, I think Hero lives in India. Alright, I'll go ahead and take another 100 off of, SFIX here. Only holding 100 shares left. I'll add to it if it bounces back. Yeah, I mean, now that he's banned, it'll be kind of funny. I mean, listen, people like that are just insecure. The insecurity just kind of reeks with them because they start saying stuff like, I'm better than everybody, which is like experienced traders that are actually successful know that they're not better than anybody. Experienced traders have that humility because they've been in the market enough to be humbled by it. And so when somebody comes in there and they start pretending like they're just the best trader in the world, then you know they're new and you know that they're not super experienced. And so that's kind of the little flag that was there. And it is what it is, The market humbles you. And the market humbles you enough, and so if you actually do well in the market, you're not going to come in here claiming all that nonsense. Yeah, well, what it is, it's probably Spencer. I mean, what was his name? Otrep is probably who it is. And like I said, it's just insecurity. No, I mean when he made another screen name that quick, I know it's a very famous troll in here. His name is Otrep, just a really insecure dude. He's probably made about 30 different fake names, and so that's who it was. To be honest, I'm not sure, Jake. I've never used it for sound. It might. I'm not 100% sure though. Either way. All right, I got out of SFIX for a small gain, $100 gain or so. Still in solely here. We'll see if it gets that low of the day crack we're looking for. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so it does. Yeah, solely it just looked like a good VWAP projection. I mean, I'm only in with 300 shares, but it'll be fun to trade it. for me, it's just hard being this active because I'm not used to being so active in the market. I'm used to kind of being taking one trade, one or two trades, and being done. And so being this active for the competition is just kind of outside of what I usually do. And I'm definitely not used to it. I got you, Tech. All right, so we'll see what Soli gives me here. Aside from that, I mean, I'm looking at the market. The market's looking a little bit more bullish as time goes on. I could probably do a power hour stream today, maybe. I mean, I use Thinkorswim just because it's what I'm the most comfortable with. It's just what I'm used to the most. I've been using Thinkorswim for years, and it's nothing necessarily against Tef's charting. I just like Thinkorswim charting a little bit more. And again, it's just it's what I'm the most comfortable with in trading. Again, nothing necessarily against Tef's charting. It's just what I like to use. Okay, so Iron Man is the one making all these fake accounts. Ah, there we go. We see his face here. Yeah, here's a lesson here, guys, is that you may think I have all these haters, but it's actually probably just one or two. You know what I mean? That's probably all it is. Just one or two really insecure dudes. I think so, Spin. You would have to ask them. I know it's free for me. Yeah, man. Hey, it keeps some, drama's a good thing for me. I call it the Conor McGregor effect. Yeah, man, I call it the Conor McGregor effect. Some people watch Conor McGregor because they like him and they're a big fan of him, but others watch him because they want to see him fail desperately. And so either way, they're still watching him, and it's still good for Conor McGregor regardless. So, I'm out of SFIX at this point. I'm already out of it. I'm in solely now. My risk is 58 or 60 with a reward level of around 60 on the downside. So my risk is about 40 cents. My reward is about 60 cents or so. Later, Eric. Have a good day, brother. Thanks, man. Have a good day, brother. But like I said, if anybody wants to check out TradeNet, which is the broker that Mitch and I typically use, this is a competition account, so it's a little bit different. But TradeNet's similar to a prop firm. And so you pay for a package. It's not a deposit. You actually pay for it. And with that, you get a certain amount of buying power. For their base package, the intro package, you spend $3.99 on it. Hey, appreciate that, Eric. Thanks for the dollar donation. Do they have robots? Hey, brother, appreciate it, Eric. But yeah, so it's very similar to a prop firm. And so basically, you pay for a package. It's not a deposit. Their base package is $3.99. And with that, with the intro account, you get 14,000 in buying power to trade with. And there's no PDT rule. So you can day trade as much as you want without worrying about, hitting the PDT rule. There's also a profit split of 70-30. So like I said, it's like a prop firm. And there's a max loss of 700. But it's still ridiculously cheap because if you think about it, you're spending $3.99 to be able to have a max loss of 700. So really you're getting roughly an extra $300 to lose. And I just think it's a much cheaper option for new traders. I think most of the time new traders are going to lose their first account anyway. And with this, you can kind of subsidize your risk to a certain extent and not risk as much as you would with a conventional broker. Plus, if you use small sizing, commission is pretty cheap as well. But yeah, appreciate that, Eric. Shout out to Eric with the $2 donation, brother. Thanks, man. Thanks, brother. Yeah, SPY's just kind of choppy today. It's sideways. This is one of the reasons trading's been a little bit rougher today. Because the SPY is just sideways. Anytime it looks like it's going to pick a direction, it just kind of breaks out on the other side. So just a slow, dull day. But again, I think tomorrow is my last day of the competition. So I got to just take some swings. What's going on, Vice? What happened, man? Yeah, I mean, that's because he did a donation, Hero. He put a donation in there, brother. Soli's moving super slow right now, guys, so I might close it down pretty soon. It's almost 11 o'clock market time. The volume's going to start slowing here, and the market's just super choppy. So I'll probably hold on to Soli. We'll see if I can swing this one. I got to figure out what the fees are. I know the fees are pretty high when you swing it. Yeah, man, I have YouTube Premium. I get credits. I hope so. But yeah, guys, I'll update you. This one's moving slow, so we'll see what happens. Here is, if you want to check out the same scanners that Mitch and I use, go check out Trade Ideas. I'll post that link here as well. Super dynamic, customizable scanners allow you to do a lot of different stuff on them. There's the link if you want to check out Trade Ideas, which is the scanners that I'm using. Really customizable, allows you to do a lot of different stuff. So go check those out. Shout out to Eric with the $2 dono. Appreciate it, brother. Thanks, man. And yeah, well, like I said, we got about 3 days left in this competition. We got about 3 days left. And so we'll see what happens. Don't have that much time. I'll try to maybe do a power hour stream today because we got like 2 or 3 days left in the competition. Yeah, man. Well, Vise here. The thing about it is, though, Vise is like limit orders. In all honesty, limit orders are tough to get hit on TEFs, and so that's why you see me using market orders, almost solely market orders. And I wouldn't necessarily suggest that on a conventional broker, but at least in my experience, market orders give me better fills. You know, and I know it's kind of riskier than limit orders, and limit orders aren't that bad if you set them in advance. But on TEFs, yeah, limit orders are a little tough to get hit, honestly. Yeah, appreciate it, Vice. Thanks, brother. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this one. Roughly break even in solely right now. And so we'll see what happens. I'll try to update you all on what goes down. And I'll try to do a power hour stream today, but we'll see. Can't guarantee it. I will try to do one. So yeah, good luck, guys. We'll see you all a little bit later. And yeah, good luck in the markets, guys. Appreciate all the support. I know it seems like we have a lot of haters. Most of the time, it's just one or two that make a bunch of fake accounts out of insecurity. So appreciate all the people that stay here and support us. And yeah, we'll be back. Try to do power hour. We'll try to be back, if not tomorrow. Hey, appreciate it, Skippy. Shout out to Skippy with the $5 donation. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate all the support today, guys. Appreciate all the love, man. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Appreciate it, Skippy. Shout out to Skippy with that $5 donation. Oh, yeah, go check out our public Discord. We do have a public Discord if you want to chat with us after the stream ends every day. And so go check out our public Discord. I'll post this link here as well. So if you want to chat with us after the stream ends, or if you want to troll us some more after the stream ends, there's the link to our public Discord. Shout out to Skippy and Eric for all the donations today. Appreciate all the love, guys. And yeah, wish me luck. We'll see how I do in this one. Good luck. I'll see you. I'll try to do a power hour stream. And good luck in the markets, guys. We'll see you all later.